Okay, let's have a little chat. Meaning, I'll chat to you, and you'll either hear it and agree or disagree, or scroll, or hit the like button, or pretend you didn't hear it. It's a weird world we live in where I can speak into the void. I said this last time because it does. It feels like you're speaking into the void. And some of that, a lot of that, is from being shadow banned and censored, which is from the Illuminati targeting and abuse I've experienced. And yes, I will say abuse, and I don't care if you think I'm playing victim. I'm just telling truth. So, yeah, let's talk about Fuckboy Tears and the narc empath spectrum today, because it seems like it's in the zeitgeist. People are really chatting about it, especially I'm in awe of the generation of younger women who take zero garbage from men. I mean, we are going to die out as a species. That's what they want, and yet there's some magical, mystical, metaphorical, and literal breakthroughs on the way, and that means there will be breakdowns of old programming, breakdowns of image, breakdowns of reputation, breakdowns of wealth empires built on baby blood and lies. It's a good thing for those breakdowns to happen, so the breakthroughs can happen. Of no, we're not going to support a rapey death cult called the Illuminati, called the Freemasons, called Satanists, Luciferians, eugenicists. Fill in the blank. There's all kind of branches of this tree of death. Basically, there's all kinds of branches. So, Fuckboy Tears. Let's talk about how. And I'm single, never married, no kids, never even lived with a guy. I'm a happy avoidant, is what I call myself. My attachment style is don't, do not, don't bother. Recipe for pain. And I know when I was younger, I had great guys, and they were wonderful, and I should have married one of them. But whatever, here we are. It's okay. I've loved and lived my life for the most part, other than this last decade where it's been absolutely diabolically cruel and weird. And, for the first few years, you can go, first 18 months or so, you can go, I'm misinterpreting. It's me. I'm crazy. I'm overreacting. This can't be happening. Then the next 2 years, you're like, oh no, it's happening, but why are they doing this? And then the next 2 years, you're like, I don't really care why they're doing this. I just want them to stop. And then the next 2 years, you're like, wait, that really all happened? So it kind of goes in, like, for me anyway, 2 year cycles. So the Fuckboy Tears thing is, there's an entire album called Sob Rock. And when asked why this person wrote the album, their answer was antagonism. So they didn't do it to win the heart of a specific or particular person. They did it for antagonism, which for me is another code word for misogyny. And there's a lot of misogyny in today's music. It is third rate, it is boring, and it is, something that's been highly weaponized, in my opinion and in my experience. So a lot of friends are still like, I love music, I love music, I love music. I'm like, okay, good. Good for you. I've been tortured by music. I've been tortured by it. And that's not a light statement I make, I do believe that there is such a thing as electronic torture, that our government does this with frequencies. I know, get your tinfoil tiara, because this is next level. Next level. So, Fuckboy Tears, like, I think that the younger generation, Gen X and above, we're just too tired and we don't care, because we're just like, we want boys to cry, right? We want men to cry. We want them to be able to express their emotions. And yet we also don't want to be the ones kissing your boo-boos and handing you tissues forever. There's a mix of us wanting you to also suck it up, buttercup, and not make your diva princess problems ours, right? So masculinity has undergone quite some scrutiny, as it should. And there's tender and healthy and divine masculine, which is, as they say, to protect and provide. I don't know anyone who does those things. They think they are. They think they're protecting you from, their nonsense, when they're not. They're actually just hyping it up and amping it up to push you away and make you disgusted, which it works. It works. It's the high school tactic of the guy who wants to dump the girl and does it by gossip through the, instead of sitting down and facing her and taking the heat from how he's mistreated her, for example. And that's how I feel like our country is right now. We have an abusive shithead running things into the ground and into hell and driving us all there over a cliff. And we're all just sitting there, taking in the view as we plummet to our rocky, drowning depths below. Hey, happy, cheerful hump day for you. Yeah, and so the fuckboy tears, like, why should we feel sorry for men? We shouldn't. And yet they want us and need us to desperately to see us see them as the victims of their own actions. And they don't want consequences or karma or to be exposed for these actions. Gosh, that would be too much to ask. That would be asking for dignity, honor, integrity, and bravery. And they're proving themselves ever more incapable of any of those things. Not all men, just the ones who are basically 40 and up, in my opinion, and experience and observation. And I'm mystified by how sleazy and slimy they've gotten, and how the flying monkeys, we've got a lot of issues here. And it isn't feminism or woke to say that men have been the root cause of all the problems, the wars, the rapes, the pillaging, right? Like, that's just history, baby. His story, right? What's her story going to be? It's going to be, Mom, can you believe that he wanted me to pay because he left his wallet at home? And then the mom says, oh yeah, that's an old trick. They've always done that one, especially the cheapos and the creepos. Don't go on a second date. But can it just happen that he just forgot his wallet, Mom? It can, but then did he order everything, like a drink to dessert? Yes, he did. Then I don't think he forgot his wallet. A man who, for 1 second, didn't have an alternate way to take care of that bill, would make sure, that you didn't have to take care of it, or is doing it on purpose, rather. Love scammers, romance, Operation Loverboy, heartbreak, warfare crop. So I'm just thrilled, though. I'm not thrilled that the younger women have to cover their drinks, but they are covering their drinks. They are not leaving their drinks alone. They are not going to get roofied. They're not going to, be drugged Cosby style or Diddy style or Epstein style. They're not going to, give their consciousness away to people who want to exploit them and make them a test, a bet, a joke, a game, an unwitting surveillance target, which is a violation of their privacy and their free will, right? So sovereignty and autonomy, good men want you to have those things. And they also want to be helpful and don't want to squash your dreams, don't want to ignore everything you put out into the world while they go and like some Instagram bikini pic. They don't want to ruin your birthday because it's a sick kick for them and that's what their cult does and it's a kink. They don't want to go out of their way to do black magic on you of any kind because they know if they won you that way, it wouldn't be real and it wouldn't last. And they don't want to do any of that stuff because they are not cocky and arrogant. They are confident and present. So the fuckboy tears, we're tired of it. Go kiss your own boo-boos or find someone dumber to do it. Basically, younger and dumber is what they do. They switch up because they don't have a new playbook. They have the same old moves. They just use them on younger, dumber people. The younger, dumber ones will just sit there and giggle and be so likable and so easy to love and so fun and so cool for about 3 months. And then, 18 months max. And then it's a new target, a new cycle with old moves and old lies. And here we go again. So if someone writes an entire album and their entire reason for that album is not love, not upliftment, not unification, not harmony, not repair, but antagonism, tells you everything you need to know. They enjoy our pain. They loosh us. They harvest our energy. They want us in despair and rage and hopelessness. I've said this before, but it's true. That's what they want because that's what they need, because they have no game and they have no riz and they have no ability to actually have genuine chivalry or genuine care. They don't care. They could care less. What they want to do is find a new target who's gullible and naive like you were, and then go and ruin their lives and get away with it and get away with it and get away with it. Well, apparently now there's new laws passing in Canada. I hope they come here eventually, where partner violence will include things like being surveilled, being stalked, being threatened, being mocked relentlessly, financially, emotionally, spiritually, coerced, sexually, all these things. So some of the men should be shaken in their little antagonistic boots that the law will be coming to expose that partner violence is not just physical. It is also a mental, emotional, and physical, psychological, rather, endeavor. And so that's something, again, for 30 years, having counseled women out of bad marriages away from toxic narcissists who are abusive as fuck. I mean, like, he broke my rib. He called me a cunt in front of the kids. Those are minor examples of some of these things. The really diabolical stuff is someone who goes and tries to break you and break your self-esteem so they can rebuild you to what they want, which is someone who needs them. Oh, he'll know what to do, my big, strong man. I'm going to leave it with him because there's nothing hotter than a helpless, weak female who is never antagonized, is never angry, is never sarcastic, and never sees through your bullshit or calls you out on it. That's so hot, baby. Except it's not, right? It's gross. It's pedophilic because you need a daughter rather than a partner. Fathers, be good to your daughters. Yeah. You know who says that? A predator. Because that predator knows that if a dad isn't good to his daughter, then great, she's going to have daddy issues and I can go and get her because she's got low self-esteem and low confidence. But if you did have a father who was mostly decent with a dark streak instead of these so-called men who are mostly evil with no good streak anymore, then you're going to see through their crap and you're going to clock their bullshit and you're going to say, no, thank you. I refuse to be antagonized. I choose to be cherished and loved and to be with a man who's generous and kind and present and real and warm and lovely, not someone who wants to own me like a possession and stick me in a collection in a jar on a shelf because he wants to antagonize me. Because that's fun for him and his friends. Nah, I think I'll skip that. And you can take your fuckboy tears somewhere else. To new targets who are younger and dumber. And yes, thinner and more attractive. And easy to love. Because I'm never going to be easy to love. I'm going to be impossible. And I'm going to be antagonistic. And I'm going to be a bitch. And I'm going to be cruel. And I'm going to be sassy and edgy when I encounter abuse. That's how I'm going to be. And I'm going to feel zero shame about it. Because when there's someone abusing a woman or a child, and then there is a whole other faction who loves to say, I couldn't care less. Oh, yeah, you did antagonize then. And I know that was your goal, one of them. But now it's coming back on you. And that's something you didn't calculate or count on or care about in the moment you were doing the antagonism. And you were doing the abuse. And you were doing the flying monkey game. So, yeah, breakthroughs and breakdowns. Breakdowns of old societies and programming and breakthroughs into new realms where men don't get to treat us like crap and profit from it and laugh about it with their friends. Because they're weak. Because they're sad. Because they're angry at their mommies. And they didn't get hugged enough. They didn't get loved right by their exes. So now some cheerleader rejected you in 11th grade and now you hate all women and you have to make our lives a living fucking hell. And it's torture for us, but it's fun for you. And you might get a little angsty about being called out or exposed because your nice guy act is very flimsy and does not uphold over time. And women will be comparing notes, not women in your cult because they're not women at all. And they're very boring. Satanists are very boring. So there you go. Evil is boring, and antagonism is not love. It's never going to be love. And fuckboy tears or just water your garden with them. On with the show. There you go. Happy midweek. And I hope you stay away from antagonists and abusers, financial abusers, abusers of the airwaves and of their fame, abusers of someone who just wanted to love. Good luck with that. Big mistake. Huge.